Welcome back to CryptosRUs. I am George. We're all George. So, big exciting news. Cardano holders, get ready. Get ready for smart contracts. Yes, this is possibly the biggest thing that could be coming to Cardano. Obviously, it's a work in progress still. Many stages, but Goguen arguably has to be the most important stage. The one that everyone is waiting for, because when you have smart contracts, then you have full functionality pretty much with all these projects that are waiting to get activated. They're all waiting for smart contracts, and it's about to come. So let's discuss what's going on with Cardano and some of these projects that are waiting to come aboard. And also there's another piece of news that I want to talk about. It's very significant, relates to Chinese miners or miners of Bitcoin overall. So let's discuss. So thanks for tuning in. As always, smash a like, subscribe to the channel. 2 streams every day, 11:30, 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Sorry, sometimes a little late like today. But that's why you want to hit that notification bell so you get notified. And follow me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, CryptosRUs.com, and Quora. All right, guys. It's Saturday night. And let's do this. Let me change my screen here. Whoop. That didn't come up right. Let me change this. Okay, there we go. All right. So tonight, the market is still hovering a little bit lower, slightly lower, but you could see Cardano. The main topic is, of course, Cardano, which is sitting at number 5 right now, right behind Binance Coin, and it's been sitting in the top 5 for quite some time. Now, there is a group of people that simply dislike Cardano, saying that it's vaporware, saying that it's never going to be complete, that Charles is just fooling everyone. But then you have another group of people, the loyal Cardano army, that just sticks with Charles and sticks with Cardano. And this is seen with how much ADA is actually staked. Over 71% of all ADA in existence is staked in a Cardano pool. So think about that. Think about how strong the Cardano army is, right? And now we're one step closer. We're one step closer to getting complete. You know what? I want to first of all mention again, CryptosRUs.com. So this is my webpage, and I have some brilliant writers that is writing out, that is just really pumping out some fantastic articles, not only about news, but also about altcoins and feature pieces. And you know what? There's 2 articles I want to talk about, although I just want to mention there is another one. A lot of you guys are fans of Solana, Terra, VeChain, the Graph. This is the newest one. If you want to learn more about altcoins, you definitely want to check out CryptosRUs.com. Yes.com. But the one I want to talk about is this. Actually, 2 articles. Smart contracts is coming to Cardano in less than 90 days. Some are saying that it could be as soon as 60 days, but most likely it's going to be 90 days. So there's a couple reasons why. Number 1, IOHK, man somewhere out of there, thank you. Number 1, IOHK have just announced that, you know, they're still releasing the testnet version of Goguen, which is deemed Alonzo, and they're going really quick. First it was Alonzo, I think it was Alonzo 1, and then now it's Alonzo 2. Pretty soon they're going to have 3, I don't know how many stages, but this is all being deployed on a testnet, and as the stages continue, they're just going to invite more and more people to come aboard and test. So that is the first indication. And the second one is due to this podcast, which some of you guys have listened to the whole thing. I mean, this is insane for an interview. This is 5 hours of straight interview. 5 hours, no breaks at all. I did not even listen to close to even half or a third. I'm like an eighth in or something. This is an insane of an interview. But anyways, with Lex Friedman, but Charles confirms in here that They are well underway, and the smart contract should be done within 90 days, which will place it within the August timeframe. Okay, August timeframe. So it's really not that much longer to wait. And like I said at the beginning, hyped it up. Smart contract Goguen, which is the roadmap for smart contracts. This has to be like the biggest. This has to be like the biggest development for Cardano, because what's afterwards, there's still two more. One is for chains and interoperability, which is important, yes, and then there's one for governance. But I mean, come on, smart contracts, this is what dominates the entire crypto community right now. This is the main emphasis, because things like DeFi and NFTs and synthetic token creations and everything else in between relies on smart contracts. Now, you have Ethereum that already has it, of course, but can't scale that well right now. And you have competitors like Polkadot and Solana and VeChain and Harmony and Elrond. And there's a Polygon. There's a ton out there, right, that's arguably already done and could scale and has smart contracts already in place. So this is definitely a huge thing for Cardano. And if this finally comes, this will allow, the ecosystem. And this is pretty old. This was updated about a month ago. So there's been other projects that have been released that's not on here. But all these projects, everything that you see here is basically waiting to be deployed. I mean, they're out already, but they're not really doing anything. For example, if you look at the AMMs and the DEXs, there's a ton that's waiting. Sunday Swap, they're one of the ones that people are talking about. Same deal with PolySwap. Sunday Swap even reached out to me saying, basically, we're waiting for Goguen to be done, so that way we could be done. People talk about Card Swap, which is from Card Starter. I believe that's the first launch pad on Cardano. And there's various other ones. Obviously, you go NFTs, like Bondly wants to come aboard. And you have all these other ones I haven't even heard of before. And you have oracles, not only just oracles like Charlie, but Ergo is another project that's very hyped up that Charles loves, that's really meant for DeFi. Not just oracles, but also DeFi. So there's a lot that's riding on top of that. And then you look at everything else in here: insurance, synthetic assets, lending and borrowing, query and graph, payment system. Of course, you have Cody, which is behind Ada Pay. That is also riding on top of this. I mean, there's just like so much. There's so much that's already here, but this is all hindering on Goguen to be complete before they can really be activated and used, right? So this is why I say this is a pretty big deal, arguably the biggest development for Cardano, and this is coming within 90 days. So what does that mean afterwards, right? This is, I mean, most of you guys watching this, you're like, is this gonna pump Cardano to the moon? Quite possibly. If I know that for the last two roadmaps, right before the completion of whatever stage that they're at, it does cause the price to go up significantly. But ultimately, that's not important whether or not short term Cardano is go pump or not. What's important is Cardano is one of those projects that is so well believed and well held and well invested by so many. Long term, it definitely seems that Cardano is going to be one of the premier chains of the future. That there's just no way that this could really be this could disappear, right? Like, people are always asking me about, what do you think in 3, 5, 10 years? What are some of the blockchains that will exist, right? It's kind of hard to say, because in 3, 5, 10 years, a lot of things can change, especially with technology, especially with blockchain too, right? But, you know, this kind of shows you Cardano is definitely here to stay. Charles is definitely still leading the space, and there is a lot that's coming to Cardano. So we will just have to wait and see. In 90 days, it's not too long. It's not too long. All right, moving on. The second thing is this. Now, this article doesn't seem very sexy if you just read the title. Digital Gold Rush Conference Promotes Chinese Hash Rate Migration. But I think this is very important. And this was broken by one of my writers, Nick, who's done a marvelous job at this. But there was no reports, okay, about this secret meeting. I say secret, but it was just like a closed meeting behind doors that was conducted in China. And the reason for this, unlike the Bitcoin, mining console, or yes, that took place recently, this one is actually telling the miners to get ready and move to the US. I mean, this is a very significant conference that not a whole lot of people is talking about. And that's because China right now is cracking down on miners. We know that there's a lot of regions within China where they're basically saying, okay, you need to get out. And these miners, they're like, they don't know what to do. They shut down and they have to worry about, well, what do I do now? Do I go to the US or do I go to some other country or whatever? And we know that like Texas and even Miami now is heavily promoting Bitcoin and Bitcoin mining, right? And if you look at this conference, there's actually a good amount of people. And what's funny is they had Mr. Wonderful actually make an appearance. And also there's another, the governor of Texas also made an appearance and basically said, come on board. And this was held for Bitmain and Bitmain's largest customers. And we know Bitmain is the biggest producer of Bitcoin ASIC miners, right? So everyone in attendance is basically a mining company or works for a mining company, and they're all very interested in hearing about, well, where should we go next, right? So I think this is very, very significant because, of course, we have this whole ESG thing about Bitcoin right now, about China maybe owning too much hash rate and Bitcoin taking too much energy and not enough renewable energy, right? So this is all working itself out right now. More and more miners are moving out of China, going to places that have cheaper renewable energy. And if a lot of them are in the US, that makes it even better, right? So it's kind of like a really big deal and a really good thing that's all coming together. Short term, as these miners move, yes, the hash rate has dropped, and yes, some of them probably have sold Bitcoin because they need the money to be able to buy new facilities and new equipment and move and all that stuff, right? But we know that Bitcoin mining and hash rate and difficulty, it always auto adjusts. That's how it's programmed to do, and it always recovers. There's been times where there's blips, down blips, but this is a temporary blip, right? So, but again, I think a lot of people miss this, and this is pretty significant, and this is what we want to see. This is what we really want to see. All right, guys, that is pretty much it. Today's a lighter news day, so I really wanted to just cover these two topics, basically Cardano and Goguen that is coming, and also more news about Chinese miners moving out, potentially to states like Texas and Miami and possibly El Salvador and other areas around the world. All right, that's it. Let's do some Q&A. All right, let me scroll up here. Rich Buddy is just like deleting a whole bunch of messages I missed. I don't know if there's a lot of haters or spammers or what. All right, Miles, I don't think Hoskinson said that. You could believe that, but he didn't say that. Courtney says, please make sure to buy the dip, but in a female tank top. And on the back say, we're all George. I would totally buy that. Hold on. You know what? Just for you, Courtney, I'm going to make that happen. Appreciate it, though. Could you look at Dia coin? It has a small cap, is relatively stable. They say it's the most liquidated asset available on BSC. What does that mean? No, No, I'm not going to look at that. That's just ridiculous, Chris. Jesus asks, will 2.0 affect both Ethereums? Yeah. So right now there's two chains. There's just the regular chain, the proof of work chain, and then there's the beacon chain. And right now they're just going in tandem. Eventually, when they're done, the last stage is to combine both of them together. I don't know how they're going to do that, but they will combine both together. So eventually, yes. Right now, I don't know. Miles G Investments, what's up, dude? Not a whole lot. All right, I'm scrolling down here. Do you have a preference between Celsius and BlockFi for staking? Well, I haven't used Celsius before, but I do hear very good things about them. People love Alex, and they traditionally tend to give pretty good rates. Now, BlockFi, I am partnered up with them. They also have pretty good rates. Some not as high as Celsius, but for some it is. Like, for example, USDT. Also, they give you a signing bonus. And plus, they do have more assets under management. They utilize some of the biggest custody services like Coinbase's and Gemini's. And I believe both of them have the highest insurance of the industry. And overall, you know what? I don't think you could go wrong with either. But for me, I like BlockFi. That's why I chose BlockFi. DL asks, George, you should totally consider launching a George coin as a meme coin on Solana. George coin on Solana will be the fastest, cheapest meme coin. Well, I do have a George coin ready. It's on Rally, but it's a little bit limited. So I don't know. Maybe I can do that. Maybe someone on the team will want to reach out to me and help me create it. I need some technical help launching a coin like that. Give me your thoughts on Cardano price this year. You know what? If Goguen, like I just got done saying, goes well and everything else goes well, and I do think the market will continue and rally back up, despite what it looks like now, I do think it's going to rally way higher than even our previous highs of this year. I mean, Cardano could be way above $10, $15, even $20. But it's not going to be limited to just Cardano. I think everything in the ecosystem is going to rally with it. It all really depends on where Bitcoin goes, I believe. I think it's all like a ratio versus Bitcoin. Quant, it's a chain interoperability play. Quant is more than that. It's more like what's that? Private public chain for businesses. So I think that is what its main like draw is, that it can be configured to help businesses. And it has been doing pretty well. Appeal. Okay. What else is there? Hey, George, you should do a collab with Jordan. He is good people. You're very aligned reviews. Yeah, I think many of you guys are fans of Jordan. I think I will. Although right now I've been holding off. I think a lot of you guys don't realize that streaming like this actually takes a lot of energy. So when I go on someone's show, that counts as like 3 streams, and it really drains me out. So right now I have not been going on anyone's show. I've been telling Rand I just don't want to go on his show right now. I haven't gone on Around the Blockchain with BitBoy. I haven't invited anyone else on his show. So eventually, but right now I'm just kind of holding off. Do you or will you run an ADA stake pool? No, but I did partner with Swag. You can see that little logo, Swag Stake Pool. They have been running it since forever, and they have some good videos about how to do it. So I would say check them out. Thoughts on AMP? Good project. You know, did peak out, right? They've been going on fire, and I said, hey, you know what? Probably don't want to FOMO in because when things go up that much, it generally comes down. So it's coming down a little bit. But overall, I think AMP is a great project. Just Jimmy, yes. I think so. $68 for ADA. And about Jordan, I'll have to see. What else? Did I miss anything? George, if 71% Cardano stake, wouldn't you expect the price to be more stable? Well, that shows you that unstaked portion that exists on exchanges, that really doesn't indicate the value of Cardano. And I make that same argument because it's the same with Bitcoin. Vast majority of Bitcoin. Out of this 18.7 million, only about 2.5 million exists on exchanges. Yet, it dictates what a Bitcoin is worth. Considering that vast majority, 70, 80%, is not even touched and moved. It is just held, right? These prices don't account for that. And it's really silly if you think about that. That, yes, this price is dictated by just a small minority that is traded on exchanges. Yet the vast majority is just holding it. But you know what? It catches up. Eventually it catches up because as more and more people hold it and take it out of the circulating supply basically, and less and less and less of it exists on exchanges, guess what happens to the prices? It starts skyrocketing, and that's what's been happening over the years, and it will continue to happen. But it's just really funny if you think about that like 70 or 80% of the total supply is just held by people and not traded yet. You know, that doesn't get accounted for the price. So I don't know. Just think about that. Anything else? What do you think about Chainlink price prediction? Chainlink is one of those big caps, and it's not going to go away. I've been saying it for a while. Chainlink is Oracle, the de facto Oracle, but they're expanding way more than that. They're almost becoming like their own chain. They're planning on using Arbitrum, and they're coming out with a lot of stuff. So yeah, it just Chainlink is a hold. Richard, your advice, your work you put in for videos are amazing. I appreciate that. All right, last few questions. I'm gonna let you guys go. It's Saturday night. I got stuff. I'm just tired, and I just want to get off. As I made morning a hold, my portfolio has gotten even bigger. How big should a portfolio be? There's no limitation. As long as you're holding on to good projects and you can keep track of them and you're being diversified, you're doing good. Chef, what happens if Tether falls? Love your content. We'll be stacking fiat. You know what? No one knows. It could be a temporary blip, or it could be disastrous. But one thing I do know is if you look at Tether, you look at its history, it's always been like that. There's always been this looming cloud people have made a big deal about. Doesn't mean that maybe it won't ever crash. But if you look at Tether, it's a relatively small market cap compared to the overall market cap, right? And I still believe that the New York Attorney General's office, they weren't idiots. They didn't just slap Tether on the wrist and say, okay, that's it. I do believe they probably looked at their books closer than most people have looked at it. And they said, okay, we're going to let this go. So I don't know. We'll just see. But it's not something that you should just keep worrying about. And if you do, and you think it's a big problem, then just don't be in the game, right? That's the easiest way to look at it. But with crypto, there's always these looming clouds. And you know what? No matter what happens, we always get through it. Another big one is right now, what I'm hearing is what happens if the equities market crash? I think that's more of a looming thing that a lot of people are anticipating that soon, within this year, that stocks will just crash. And if it happens, right, what happens to crypto? I do think crypto will get pulled down with it because when there's panic selling, it tends to happen all around, right? But the key thing is, what about recovery? Because in 2020, we saw Bitcoin and crypto crash down, but there was a V-shaped recovery very quickly, and crypto never stopped afterwards. It kept going, right? It kept accelerating more so than even stocks. So I think that's more important to pay attention to. All right. Last few things. Yes, the scammers, impersonators, I can't get rid of all of them. They keep coming back, so be careful. I will never reach out to you saying, reach out to me on WhatsApp or Telegram, whatever. I would never do that. If you're a project, I'll never reach out to you as a project and say, hey, do you want to do a sponsorship with me? I won't do any of that. Ignore those comments, right? It's, Heisenberg, thank you. And then I think that's it. This one asked me about something. Can you explain crypto IRA? Would you recommend to roll 401k to IRA? Check out iTrust Capital. They have a lot of professionals that answer these kind of questions. But basically, if you're a long-term holder and you want to basically trade crypto with your 401k or IRA, and you don't want to worry about it, or you simply want to buy. Let's say you want to buy Bitcoin and just hold it for the next 40 years until you retire, right? You could do so with iTrust Capital. So reach out to them and see what they say. They'll help you. All right, guys, that's it. Thanks for tuning in. Smash the like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys tomorrow, 11:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. All right? Have a good night.